This conference will now be recorded.
So in today's class, we are going to see the last concept in the forms, which are nothing but your Adobe forms. Adobe forms. So this is the latest version which currently we are using in our real time. So in real time, whenever we need to develop any form, we always we always has to do with the Adobe Forms only. We have to always work with our Adobe Forms. So no scripts, nothing. But still there are some people who are working with your smartphones but not on scripts, because people doesn't have the proper knowledge how to work with the Adobe Forms. People doesn't have the knowledge. So why we have to go ahead with the what is the reason why we need to go with the Adobe Forms? Why we need to go with the Adobe Forms? What is the main reason? The first one is it's an universal document. So see, whenever we are working on scripts are the smart forms. So it's not a PDF based documents, guys. Remember that it's not a PDF based documents. So when these documents needs to transfer in the form of PDF to the third party system, when we want to transfer these documents in the form of PDF, in the form of PDF. So in real time, what we will do, we will convert this smart form output into a binary format, or I can say we will be converting that into from binary format, and from binary we will convert that into OTF format, and then from OTF we will convert that into the PDF format. So these are the things we have to do it for your scripts as well as your smart forms. But when we are converting, there might be a chance like it can reduce the density, pixel densities, or it can change the layout. Some minor things can happen. So because of this, when we are sending that into a third party system or the non SAP system, so we can't able to see the exact format how we are going to get that in our SAP. In our SAP, we can't able to see in the same format. So because to overcome all these issues, so SAP has came up with a new thing called as your Adobe Forms. Your Adobe Forms. So why Adobe Forms are nothing but it will automatically generate your PDF documents, portable document format. So PDF document are nothing but your portable document format. It's an universal file. Every system can able to accept this PDF file. So and it cannot, I mean, the density, the pixel density are no changes, nothing. So however you are able to see that in your SAP, the same way you can able to see that in your third party system, so that preserve all the fonts, formatting, graphic colors of any source document. Now, regardless of application and the platform using to create it, PDF files are compact and can be shared, viewed, navigated, and printed exactly as intended by anyone with Adobe Read software. With Adobe Read. So if you have an Adobe Read software, so regardless whether I opened it, whether you opened it, or whether some person, non-SAP person opened that PDF format, it will be the same, regardless of any software they are using. So why we have to use the PDF document? So that's the main important thing. So people are going ahead with your PDFs. So why we need to use the PDF? So why the PDF form? The first thing is it's an open standard. As I told you, it can be used by everything. So, and it's an ideal document format. So the ideal document format is the PDF. So whenever you are seeing right now in your all your statements or any documents or anything, you will be getting everything in the form of your PDFs only. You will be getting in the form of your PDF only. So whatever the bills you are going to take it up right now, or either the online purchases, so everything you will be getting the bills in the form of the PDF only, because it's a universal format. So they can generate the PDF, you can be able to view the PDF in the same style as if you have an Adobe reader. So it provides in security options. So one of the main important thing is the security options, like your digital signature. So that's one more thing. You can just provide your digital signature in Adobe Forms, the same digital signature you can able to use that. And disable save option. So you can also disable your save option, just only the viewing options you can able to provide it. Disable the select option, disable the print options. All these are available in your PDF forms. All these are available. So just some viewing, so you don't want to save that, or you don't want to give a download access. So let's say for important documents, I don't want to provide any saving option. So all these things you can able to do that. So those things you can't able to do it with the help of your smartphones or your scripts directly. Again, you need to convert that into the PDF format, and then only you can able to do all such type of a things, all such type of a things. So so once you convert that into a PDF, then only you can able to make sure to save, to disable the to disable the save option, or to disable the select option, or to disable the print option. And one more thing, so what are the other importance or the benefits? So this is the main reason why we have going ahead with the uh, PDF forms. And what are the main benefits of an Adobe form? At the first benefit, it will be remaining the same in all the environments that I already told you. Now, it helps in optimizing the business process by automation, the creation of data from SAP system. That's thus saving the time and cost. So let's say, for example, like your Google Forms, you might be knowing of your Google Forms. So what we will do, so they will be providing some questionnaires, and we will be just providing you the answers for that, right? In a same way, in PDF also, we can able to interact, we can able to do an interaction. Now when we are doing an interaction, when we providing the when we providing the things, automatically at the back end we will be creating an interface which will store the data into SAP. So these are called as interactive Adobe forms. So that's so thereby the manual entry will be gets reduced. So we don't need to have our paper. So overcome the limitations of paper based, like your manual entry or error phone, or easily outdated and high cost. All these things we can able to reduce, because we will provide a direct application to our users to fill that applications. So users will fill it manually. So at the back end, we can just go ahead and we can just call an interface, and we will ask to save the data into our SAP, into our SAP. So these are some of the benefits when we go ahead with your Adobe Forms. So right now, when you want to display any documents, we will be using an Adobe Forms. Or when you want to provide and user interactions, like filling of any applications or anything, we will also going ahead with our Adobe Forms only. We'll also going ahead with our Adobe Forms only like filling of your applications, like if you want to open a bank account, or if you want to come as an full-time customer, like in Amazon. So if you are a seller in your Amazon, so if you want to become a seller, so like that, they have so many different types of forms that will be available. So some are only for you to showcase the data, or some are are also used to interact with you. So those two things you can able to do it with the help of your Adobe Forms, but the scripts and smart forms are only used for your display purpose. Now, using of your PDF forms. So where we will be going to use that? So in all these things we will be using that. So one is the order confirmation, the second voice is the invoices, the third one is your account statement, and even for your checks. So let's say for example, um, I want to I want to create a check automatically in SAP. So check. So if it is the amount has to be credited and we will be providing in the form of a check. There are some companies where they will be issuing the checks to the third party people. To the third party people or to the banks directly, they will be issuing the check. So to send that amount to the particular customer. So they will be issuing the check, or if you are even going for your loan processing for the banks, automatically the check will come along with your paper. So some might have been seen that and some might not been seen that too. So the check will come, so automatically the check printing can also be done with the help of your PDFs, the salary statements, the delivery notes, custom forms if you have any custom form, industry specifications such as the quality forms of an automation industry. So this is the interactive forms, quality checks. So whether the quality has been successfully done it or not. So I just want to do an interaction directly. So we'll just tick that and we'll just upload that automatically at the back end. It will go ahead and create the documents. Okay, so these are the places where you will be using this your Adobe Forms. Now, the transaction code is for the Adobe Forms. The transaction code to create an Adobe Forms is SFP. So this is the transaction code. So for script, it's SC78. For smart forms, it's smart forms. And then for Adobe Forms, it is SFP. SFP is the transaction code. So with the help of this transaction code, you can able to go to the form builder. Form builder. So in this SFP, basically we do have three things. One is your form builder, and one is your form interface, and the third one is your what is that? I forgot. Oh yeah, only these two things. One is your form builder, and the second one is your form interface. So these are the two things that you will be available in in your SFP. Right now, I'm just waiting for the password reset. So once the password got resetted, I'll just show you that one. So form builder and as well as your form interface. So these are the two things. So in smart forms, these two are the inbuilt. These two are your inbuilt. So in this, the first one is your global settings, and then in your pages and windows. These are the two things which you will be having. Windows. So in this global settings, you will be having your form interface, right? The form interface will be there in your global settings. So whereas in your SFP, so the form interface is a separate. That means if you want, we can use the same interface. We can use the same interface for multiple PDF forms, and so in this form interface only, in this form interface only, we will write the entire ABAP logic. The entire ABAP logic we will be writing in the form interface only. So now when you are creating your Adobe form, when we are creating the Adobe form, Adobe form. So firstly we will develop our our interface. interface. So whatever the details we want, we will be just developing this interface, and then we will get the data to the global variables, into the global variables which we declare in our interface. Global variables which we will declare in our variables. So we will be declaring that in our variables. So now these, so now when, so then we will go ahead and develop the form. Then we will develop the form. So when we are developing the form, when we develop the form, so it's similar to like your function module. So it's similar to like your function module. So when we create a function module, and so which has to be assigned to your function group, right? In a same way, when we develop the Adobe form, we need to provide our Adobe interface, whatever the interface which we are going to use, that has to be tagged to your Adobe form. That's why I told you the same interface can be used at multiple forms. The same interface can be used at. Now, once we tag this to your Adobe forms, we can able to view all the variables, all the variables along with the system variables, along with the system variables like your date, time, and everything. You can able to view it. So if I go here scrolling down, I think that is available. So this is how the form and the interface. So first of all, we will be going to see our form. In the smart form also, you will be having the same thing, importing, exporting, and all these things. In the interface level, here also we'll be having. So we will be writing, we will be declaring the declarations in your global types, field symbols, and everything. And we will be writing the code in the code initialization. So let's say, for example, so these are some of the parameters that we have in the importing. So I just figured it out. So now when we go into the form, when we click on the create, it will ask you for your interface. It will ask you for your interface. Now, in this mainly you will be having your three things. One is properties, one is context, and one is your layout. One is properties, one is context, and one is your layout. In this in the properties, so who has been created, when it has been created, all those things you can able to see it. In the context, you can able to see all your interface field list, all your interface details. You can able to view this. So whatever the details you want, you will just drag it and drop it in your context window. So that is what you have to do it. So whatever the required fields, I told you, you can able to use this form interface at multiple places. So, but when we are going to use that at multiple places, everything we don't want in our one PDF form. As we are going to use that in multiple places, everything we don't need that in your in one single form. So whatever the required details you need it, we'll be just dragging it and we'll be just dropping it over here. Now, whatever the fields which you have used in the context, the same fields that can be only passed in your layout. Layout is a place where we will be designing our Adobe form. This is one of the most important things you need to know when you are working with your Adobe form. So we just need to come here and we just need to drag it and we just need to drop it over here. So this is the one you have to know it. So now let me come back. So this is the one. So as I told you, uh, so this is the one form interface, and then we can use that at multiple form context, and then we can use that in those layouts. In those layouts, this is how the structure of your PDF is. The steps in developing the PDF are interface, parameter defining. So the first thing, as I told you, in the interface, we just need to define our parameters. A form interface that sends the application data to your form. So this is an interface which will sense the data. All your data must be in your interface only. Remember that all your data must be in your interface only. Interface can be reached through SEAT or SFP. Interfaces in smart forms and PDFs are not compatible. So remember that. So whatever the interface which we developed in the smart form, or whatever the interface which we developed in the interface, also in the PDF forms, are not compatible. That are different, and this is a different. Because in the smart form, as I told you, for every form you will be having an interface, but here multiple forms can refer to one PDF, one interface, sorry. Multiple forms can refer to your one PDF, sorry, one interface. Now, if you click on the checkbox, the smart form compatible interface at the properties, so the print program of the smart form can also be used by default. But if you have an option in the smart form compatible interface, so at the properties tab, so then the print program of the smart form can also be used. You can also use the print program, not the smart form, I'm telling you. So the data fetching and everything, you can able to use that in your for your for your PDF also. But irrespective of it, we can able to use that, no issues. Now in the PDF you can only use the type statements. Never check pass by value checkbox, as it will affect the performance unless it's required. So if you want to send this data to any third party system, then only you have to check that your pass by value. As I told you already, when we are dealing with our function modules, if it is a table, the entire table will be passed. Exceptions can be created and raised at the interface level itself. So if you want to create any exceptions, you can do that. PDF cannot fetch the currency information form from the data dictionary. These details has to be provided at the currency field tab. So at this stage itself. So how you want to provide that currency, in which format the currency has to be provided. So it's just like the currency and the quantity relationship, you just have to provide it. So currency as well as the quantity information from the data dictionary. So the what is the currency, whether it's an INR and all those things. So you have to manage that at the currency slash quantity fields in your table. So context mapping. So when we go ahead with this context, form context, so as I told you, a form context that contains the form logic. This logic controls the dynamic formatting in the form in the context. You can specify which data is copied from the interface to your form. Which data, what data you want to, you need it, you can specify that. So layout, a layout is which you have to define how the data is positioned and it appearance in the graphics and designing of your pages. So everything you can do that. Form interfaces and form context with the layouts are called as the form objects. Form interface and form with the layouts are called as these. These are different transportable object. So as I told you, the same interface can be used in multiple form. The same interface. So that's the reason we will be creating a separate transport. One is for your interface and one is for your form. When you're thinking that it is going to be used at multiple places, if you think that it is not going to be used, then we'll be going ahead and creating a excuse me, we'll be going ahead and creating a one single transport. In real time also, what we will be doing, so the developing of the form we will be giving to one person and the interface we will be giving it to another person. If it is a very big and very funky logic which you are having, so many calculations, blah 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 blah, everything if you are having, you just need to go ahead and do that with your with a two-step person. So one person will always work with our interface, the other person will be designing the form, will be designing the form how exactly the user is going to ask. Okay, so this is all about your layout. So how you have to define this and all these things. Now, so as I told you, to create the proceed in the context menu of your package, choose create form. So this is from your SE80. SE80. So in this you need to choose form object and create an interface. Enter the name of your interface and then and in the click on interface dialog box. So in the interface dialog box, just provide this. So to create a form with the context and layout, follow the things. In the context menu of the package, choose create form object and click on the form. Enter the name of your form and create a form dialog and provide the interface name and click on save. The created object directory entry dialogs appears. Enter your data and save your objects. This is nothing but your TR. This is nothing but your TR. It will just provide your TR and it will you go ahead and save that one. So now inside your form, so once we go out into the layout, we will be having the page concept and layout. So that so you can define the page layout for a form and determine the order of pages that you want, but that you are differencing structures, text, data tables of various other data type objects. So in this pages, it has been defined into two pages. One is the master page and one is your body pages. So the form page has been defined into two things. One is your master page and one is your body pages. So the master page is nothing but whatever the header details you require, that you will be printing that in your master page. And then in the body page, whatever the item details and every other details respect to the customer, we will be printing that in your body pages. You can position various elements. You can position various elements in the on these pages. Standard objects such as if you want to provide any text, you can do it. Graphics, squares, rectangles, circles, lines, dynamic objects. So you can do all these things. Dynamic objects such as buttons, you can able to keep it, checkboxes, date and timestamps, drop down fields. So these when we are doing with an interactions, you can able to do that. And user defined objects, you can able to do that. The if you want to have your own things, you can also define your own things, and you can also define your barcodes and your UPI scanners too. So that also you can do that. Okay, all these things you can able to do that. Now when we go ahead with your form interface, so in this form interface, I'm just waiting for the this thing, guys. One second, let me get the password one more time. One second, guys, I'm just connecting to the system. Okay, so now SFP. So here you will be having your form and you will be having your interface. Now when we go ahead with this, so I'm just going to say this as ZIF underscore 7 AM underscore SO form, the sales order form. I'll just go ahead and click on create this. So you just need to provide this. So the sales order form. So in this you will be having your the smart form compactable. So when you click on this one, the print program, so you can able to use this for your smart form. By default, you can't able to use this. So when you select this, then you can able to use that. But usually we will be selecting this as ABAP dictionary based interface only. Just click on your save. It will ask you for your package. As this is another system, I don't have the package. I'm going to save that in my local object. Now, by default, when you open your smart forms, you can able to see these parameters. So these are all your PDF document parameters. So if I go here to this, so when we go inside to this, you can able to see your SI language or whatever the usernames and everything. You can able to see that one. See the language, the country, all these things. So which language, which country, whether it's an interactive form or not, or whether it's a dynamic form or not, all these things you can able to see. All these things you can able to pass it. So by default we will be passing the language, and by default we'll be passing our country. So if you don't want, you don't need to provide this. These are optional values. So see this is an optional value, and this is a pass by value too. Now in the exporting parameters, so whatever you are going to export, you can able to see this. By default, these you will be able to come up, and here you can able to see what is, whether it's a PDF document or whether it's an XML document. So when you are converting this, whether you want that to be converted into a PDF document, or whether you want to convert that into a PDL document, or whether you want to convert that into an XML document. XML document. So these three things you can able to see automatically. We will never ever remove this. You should never ever remove this. Remember that one. Now in the global data, so I'll just go ahead and create a variable like this. You have to create this IV underscore VBLN. I'm just going to take this as my type, and I'm going to take this as VBLN underscore your VA. So whatever you want. Now in this, whatever you want, you will be just going to take this up. So I'm going to my types declaration. So what I will do, I will be getting my header details. I'll be getting my header details. So the header details, and then I'll be going to get my item details. So now in the header details, so I'm just going to have, so types begin of gty underscore. So I'm just going to use the same details, vbak, end of gty underscore here, vbak. So now what I will do, I'll be just going to get this vbln type, vbln underscore va erdat type, erdat, and then ERNAM type, ERNAM, and then VKORG type, VKORG, VTWEG type, VTWEG, SPART type, SPART. So these are the things. Now the next one is the item details. When we go ahead with our item details, whatever the item details I want, I'll just go ahead and provide that one. Types begin of gty underscore vbap, end of gty underscore your vbap. So usually we used to write everything in our in your form interface only. How we have done it in your smartphones, we will be using the same concept over here too. Now I'll just go here, vbln type, vbln underscore va, posnr, POSNR type, POSNR underscore VA, and then MATNR type, MATNR, and then KWMENG type, VBAK hyphen KWMENG. Let me go to, sorry, VBAP. So let me go to my VBAP structure slash SEE SE16N. I'll just go to my VBAP. So let's see the material as well as the quantity and the price. The material, quantity and price. Where is this conversion factor? So this is my currency. So the net value NETWR, NET, NETWR type VBAP hyphen NETWR, and then I also need my quantity, and this is my currency key. So this one also you need to write. So that you are going to provide that in your currency slash quantity fields. So I'm just going to say, so VBAP hyphen WAERK. So now material quantity, I just need the quantity also. Net weight. Okay, so let me take this gross weight and net weight, or sorry, here KWMENG. So this is the one. KWMENG. So that's the same thing I have taken. And if you want, you can just provide your units. So sales unit is, you can just provide it this. So this one. So now once you have done this one, I'll just go here. So I'll just go ahead and create my table types also. So GTT underscore VBAP type standard table of GTY underscore VBAP. I'm just going to take this as initial size as 0, so that it will assign the initial amount. And now you will be coming to your data declarations under your global data, and then just click on create. So I'll just go here. I'll be taking this as, so this importing parameter, I just need to provide it in my over here. Sorry, my bad. So I'm just going to provide it over here, IV underscore VBELN. Just going to take this as type, and VBELN underscore your VA. So now in my global definition, I'll be going to say this as GS underscore VBAK, and I'll be taking this as a type. I'll be going to take this as your GTY underscore VBAK, and then whatever the other things. So GT underscore VBAP, so you just need to provide this as type GTT underscore VBAP. So these are the two things I just got this. Okay. Now in this importing parameters, as I told you, you just need to select this as optional and don't select your pass by value until and unless if you are going to use it as an mm, third party, then only you have to use it the pass by value, or else you should not use this one. So this is the one thing which you need to know. So now you will be going to your currency slash quantity fields. I'll be just going to take this field. So just click on your F4 MENG. Sorry, SFP. I don't know whether we have the details or not. Yeah, it's lost. I lost it. So let me go ahead and take this as IV underscore VBELN type VBELN underscore your VA. So I'm just going to do my control S. So now I'll be going to my types declaration first. So I'll be taking this as, mm, the types, the types declaration. So types begin of GTY underscore VBAK, VBELN type, VBELN underscore your VA, and then ERDAT type, ERDAT, and then ERNAM type, ERNAM, and then VKORG type, VKORG, VTWEG type, VTWEG, and then SPART type, SPART, and then end of GTY underscore VBAK, and then next one is begin of GTY underscore VBAP, end of GTY underscore VBAP. So here also I need VBLN type, VBLN underscore VA, and then PO SNR type PO SNR underscore VA, and then MATNR type MATNR, and then the quantity KWMENG type VBAP hyphen KWMENG, and this is the sales unit. So I'm just going to provide that one as VBAP hyphen this one. I'm just going to do that one, and then the quantity NETWR type NETWR. So VBAP hyphen NETWR, and then WAERK type VBAP hyphen WAERK. So Control S. I'm just going to do that one. Now here, so see here, you can't able to do your shift F1. So whatever you are going to do that with your pretty printer, this will not work over here. So you have to be uh, do your alignment on your own. Remember that the alignment has to be done by your own thing. So you can't able to use your pretty printer over here. So that's the one flaw black when you're working with your Adobe interface. Okay, now I'm just going to take GTT underscore VBAP type standard table of GTY underscore VBAP initial size as 0. So that's it. I'm just going to save this one, and now I'll be going to my global data. I'll just provide this one GS underscore VBAP type GTY underscore VBAP. So that's it. Now I'll just go ahead and create one more row, GT underscore VBAP. I'm going to take this as type GTT underscore VBAP. That's it. I'm just going to save this one. Now if you go to do your currency slash quantity fields, just click on F4, F4. So you can able to see here whatever the fields you have. See here, whatever the fields you have, it will just asking that field. So now you need to provide your reference field. So automatically it will show you your reference field. See the currency type. Now when I go ahead and click on create, and then I'll be just going to take your quantity fields. So what is my quantity? This is my quantity KWMENG. Automatically it will show you your VKRME. So this is what you have to do it when you're working with your currency slash your quantity fields. Once you have developed this one, you just need to go to your code initialization. So what is your importing parameter? So IV underscore your VBELN is your importing parameter. So what will be our output parameters? So first one is GS underscore VBAK, and then the second one is your GT underscore your VBAP. So these are the two things you just need to provide that one. Now, so you have to write your logic. So fetch the details of the sales order and the item details. So I'm just going to fetch that one. So select VBELN ERNAM ERDAT VKORG VTWEG SPART from VBAK into table at the rate into or I'll be going with select single. So from VBAK into at the rate GS underscore VBAK where VBELN is equal to at the rate IV underscore VBELN. So that's the one. Now fetch the item details. So select what are the things I have provided. So let me go to my types declaration. So Alt Shift right arrow and then down arrow, Control C, I'll be going to my code initialization again. So select, these are the fields. I'll just go ahead with my comma separation. From VBAP into table at the rate GT underscore VBAP, where VBLN is equal to at the rate IV underscore VBLN. So that's it. So these are the two things. Once we have developed this, we'll just go ahead and activate your interface. What is the error? There is an error. Sorry. Okay, under types I have, sorry, under the global definitions, it's VBAK. So now here it's GS underscore VBAK. Now just on check. One second, guys. Sorry, VBAK. Now check this. Okay, now check this. Yeah, so now there are no errors. I just rectify all the errors and then I'm going to activate my interface. Once you go ahead and activate your interface, so again I'm going to SFP. So now it's time for me to create my form. So ZF or else Z Adobe form underscore 7am underscore S4 sales order. I'll just go ahead and now copy this interface. Let me click on create. So when you click on create, you just need to provide. So sales order Adobe form. So now you just need to provide your interface over here. Let me click on your save. So I'm going to save that in my local document. So now see here, as I told you, all your importing parameters. So by default, it will show you nothing. Whatever the importing parameters you want and whatever the things you need. So see here, the system details. So the date, time, username, everything you can come up. So just drag it and drop it. Just drag it and drop it. So or you can able to get those ones. So now in this also, let's say for example you want only the VBLN you required, sorry, only the VBLN you required, so just you can drop that one. So VBLN has came up. Or else if you want the entire structure, just drop your entire structure. Now right click and then I'm going to delete this one. So I just deleted this one, whatever the fields you want. In the same way, and now whatever the table you want, you just go ahead and drop that table over here. So you can able to get your table. So if you want, you can just change the description over here, where you can able to see the properties of every field. And for this properties you can able to see it over here. Once you drag it over here, you can change, you can see the properties over here. If you want, you can make this as active or inactive. So I don't want this field to be shown up, or I don't want the entire properties to be shown up. So that means if you change that as inactive, you can't able to use that in your layout. You can't able to use that in your layout. So everything must be active. So in this, let's say for example, I don't want the VBLN. So now what I will do, I will be making this as inactive. So you can't able to use that one. So field label, whether you want that as your heading or whether you want that as your short, medium or long. So which label you want. So by default it will be showing you as a label, this will be showing this as, or if you want to change that the field labels, you can able to see because you have created to your ABAP dictionary level. So now see here, this is an inactive, you can't able to use that one. Now once you set up all these things, so now you will be going to your layout. Okay, so this is the error which you will be seeing. This one could not start your layout designer. So because when you want to work with your Adobe Forms, you need to require a new software called as your Adobe Lifecycle Designer. So to design your things, to design the Adobe form, we need a new software called as the Adobe Lifecycle Designer. So based on the GUI version you are using, GUI version we are using, so we need to use the same compactable Adobe Lifecycle Designer. So we will be calling that as your ALD. So the compactable ALD, you have to use that one. So first of all, you need to install that. So let me go ahead and do that one. Just give me 1 minute. I'll just need to find out where it is. Able to see this, this is available in my thing. So I do have Adobe Lifecycle Designer 10.4 and I do have Adobe Lifecycle Designer 11. So I need to go ahead and first, so let me keep that in your sorry, let me keep that in your respective batches. So I'm just going to keep that one so that you will be having this one at the same time. I'll also go ahead and keep that oh here for you guys also. So now let me extract this one. So I'll be just copying this. I'll be going to paste that in my desktop. Okay, it will take some good amount of time for copying that. Okay, so this is the one. So you need to have this layout designer. So once you have your layout designer, then only you can able to work with your Adobe Forms. Now we can't. So test when we want to test this Adobe form, Adobe form. So this program will connect to the Adobe server. So the program will be connected to the Adobe server. So right now, as these are dummy systems, we don't have the connections between this Adobe server. So for this reason, I can't able to show you the output. Only the Adobe Forms you can able to do this in your real-time servers only, as we do have the proper connections. But over here we don't have these proper connections maintained, so you can't able to test these Adobe Forms. We can't able to test this Adobe Forms. Remember that one. I'll be just showing you how can we do everything, but the testing you can't able to do that one. How can we include this and all these things I just shown you. So once we go into this layout, you can able to see here your master page. So the body page as well as your master page. Body page is a page where you will be designing your things, and the whatever the XML source you can able to see that. See, you can create the body pages in the layout designer, you can also view and edit the in the preview of your form. In the PDF preview, you can able to see that the layout contains 4 tabs: body pages, master pages, XML source, as well as your PDF preview. So this PDF preview you can't able to see when we also install your Adobe Lifecycle Designer software. When we install this also, we can't able to see that one. So only these things you can able to see that. uh, you can able to see that when there is a real, when there is an exact connection that has been maintained to your Adobe server, then only you can able to see that one. Okay, so now what you can see, all these things I just provided it. How can you do that one, I'll also let you know. And once you have done with this, so I'll be showing all these things. Once you have done with this, so in the program what you have to do it. So what I think that the form has been designed. Now it's time for me to go ahead and develop the program, right? We need to develop the program. So at least we have to provide the details to our form interface, right? We need to develop that program. So what for your development of your program, so in the smart form, in the scripts, so you have used your open form, your write form, and your close form. These are the three function modules we have used. Whereas in the smart forms, what we have used, SSF underscore function underscore module underscore name. You have just provided that one. So SSF underscore function underscore module underscore name, you have provided that one. So once you have provided this one, you will be calling the generated function module, calling the generated function module. Whatever the generated function module for your smartphone, you will be calling it. But coming to your Adobe Forms, so you have few different steps that you have to be used. First thing is you need to call your FP underscore function module underscore name. So here you will be using SSF underscore function module underscore name. Here you will be use FP underscore function module underscore your name, function module underscore your name, where you need to provide your Adobe form, where you need to provide your Adobe form. So once you provide your Adobe form, it will provide you a function module called the generated function module. So how you have to call that one? So the first thing is, when we want to call this Adobe form, when we want to call this Adobe form, we need to do that. We need to do via a background job. Remember that, via a background job. A job has to be created, from that only you can able to call that one. One second, guys. Okay, sorry. So we have to do this. The first thing is, we for this we do have two function modules: fp underscore job name. So this is the three things: fp underscore job underscore name. You just need to provide that one. In between, so then we need to use fp underscore job underscore, sorry, job open and job close, sorry, job open and then job close. In between these two things, so you have to call the generated function module. Generated function module, whatever the generated function module you have, you just need to call that one. So that is the thing you just have to provide when you are working with your Adobe form. Okay, so I just provide you some of the documents, so some of the things, so FP underscore documents, whatever the input parameters, you just need to provide this. And what is your job name, the form name, you just need to provide this one, FP underscore. So some people will write this, so this one also inside over here, but you can write that explicitly outside, and you can do that, or you can write that inside also, the form name, and it will generate your function module, and you have your function module name, whatever the details you have, and then close the job, close the job. So now for troubleshooting, you have provided the various function module for troubleshooting. You can use this to get the exact last information. Text about causing an error. With this function module, you can able to get that one. And trace about your Adobe document services. So whether it is working, you can able to see it over here. So these are the two things. And but when you want to debug your smart form, sorry, Adobe form, you will be just coming to your interface, go to your code initialization, go to your code initialization. You can just go ahead and keep a breakpoint over here. So keep that as your static breakpoint, oh, sorry, the user defined breakpoint. So then you can able to work with that. So once you execute that, it will automatically come to your breakpoint. It will automatically come to your breakpoint. You can able to debug from there onwards. So let me log on here. So I'm just going to I think the system is running too slow. Okay, what I was telling, I forgot that. Yeah, so now SFP, I'm just going here. I'll be just opening my interface. I'll be just going to my display mode or go to your change mode. Anything is fine. Now go to your code initialization. You can just keep a breakpoint over here. Okay, bookmarks. Okay, let me go. So you can hear. So set the session breakpoint or set external breakpoint. So these are not working over here. I'm not sure why. So let me go to my change mode. See, so these are not working. So some issue with this system, but you can able to set your breakpoint over here and your external breakpoint also. So when you want to debug that, so you can able to do that one. So once we click on this, it will just automatically set your breakpoint. So once you execute that, it will just come here to this breakpoint. To this breakpoint, this way we can able to debug that your Adobe forms. So now as the Adobe server is in, we need to install this Adobe server. So once I have done installing that one, how can you get those values to your Adobe forms and all these things, we can check that in your tomorrow's session. Okay, so that's the end of today's session. By tomorrow I'll just, but the only thing is you can't able to execute your Adobe forms. That's the one important thing. So I'll be going to provide you the links for all the Adobe forms because I can't able to show you everything. So I'll be going to provide you the everything. Where is this? I think somewhere I lost this one. So let me check that one. So uh, I have my Adobe recordings. So almost like 5 sessions, which is everything 2 hours session, 10 hours of session. So I'll be sharing these links with, I'll be sharing these things. But remember that this will be available only for 1 month. So this is my, let me stop the recording. So if you have any questions, do let me know, or else I'll stop the recording and I'll just explain you. Okay.